You heard me.
You heard me.
Welcome to You Heard Me the First Time podcast. My name is Mimi.
I'm Nikki Nicole.
And Lizzie.
And welcome back to another episode.
Pew, 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 pew.
So, how is everybody?
I'm sorry, that was the R&B touch this time. Did y'all didn't hear that vocals? We're not gonna acknowledge that? Okay. Next time.
So for the people that don't know, we are recording 7:00 in the morning. And the girls are tired. It's
for the first time ever.
But we're doing this for y'all, okay? I don't know what's going on with our schedules right now or something where it's causing us to have to record at 7 a.m, but it's life.
Yeah. So Beyonce's album came out this week, The Renaissance, Act 1. So you know there's going to be a different part, you know? And I almost had to block a few people for giving their unsolicited opinion. Like, listen, I don't want to have to block you. So if I follow you and you're listening, just if it's negative, just keep your opinion to yourself. Like the album just came out. I have to live with it for a little bit. Like the album came out 2 hours and y'all already have it. Shut up. Just shut up.
That's some people's opinion.
I want to see it. Listen, Mimi.
I have to live with this for me. That was the part that got me.
Yeah, no, we have to do what we have to do. But yeah,
we cannot.
So have you guys listened to the Queen Bee's album?
I haven't listened to the entire album, but I've been listening to the popular tracks that I see people like when they when they post it on Instagram, like, okay, this one is filming and stuff. So those are the ones I've been going to listen to. I haven't listened to the entire.
Y'all not invited to the cookout.
Yeah, I have listened to some of the album, and it's a different sound.
Listen, Beyonce, genius, love you. Okay, let's move on because I don't want to fight nobody this morning. So we are living in a whole new pandemic, monkeypox.
Isn't it crazy?
Listen, I was on my cycle and I got this pimple on my face, girl. I started panicking.
Here we go, it's about to start.
What? I started Googling like the side effects, how it look. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this child? But I usually, when I'm on my cycle, I usually get, acne.
That's what
Lizzie said. But I just started panicking, like, what is this on my face? Oh my gosh, this, like, I don't need no more. Like, we already living with COVID.
That's gonna be the new excuse when the girls get on their face. Oh, I'm on my cycle. You know when COVID has started, people be like, oh, it's just my allergies.
But bitch, why is it on your pussy? What is that?
Wait, what?
Yes, it goes to your private area.
Oh, I did not. I just thought it was your face and like your arms.
No, it goes to your private area.
You know, it's crazy. Like with COVID, we had to wear masks. Now with the monkeypox, we gotta wear gloves. Like, I'm not like we haven't even got over the whole mask thing. Now you guys telling us like, okay, don't touch anything or whatever. I will freak the fuck out if I see that shit on my face. Like, that's like, Godfrey, that's like suicide. Like, you start seeing the shit's popping up on your face. Like, on a serious note, like, oh my gosh, like, is that even possible? Like, how that don't like.
And I think I was talking to, I think Lizzie told me yesterday, like, it can leave scarring on your face. So,
like, yeah, like even after it's all said and done, your skin still has to heal. It's oh my God, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And like, I think me and Nikki was talking about this. Unlike COVID, where you can kind of like go undetected a little bit, you can't hide that shit. Like, you cannot hide having monkeypox. It's crazy.
That's so nasty.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry. Initially, like, you don't initially get the outbreak. So imagine you have it, you're going around someone, you don't even know you have it, and then, this is scary.
Yeah. And so now what I've been noticing is that me and Minnie goes to the same gym, and yes, I'm gonna call people out. So some people has been sick and they've been coming in with their mask on, but they've been saying, oh, I got tested for COVID and I don't have COVID. But with this monkeypox, you're gonna have fever-like symptoms, and like Minnie said, the outbreak on like the outbreak doesn't happen sometime until like 3 weeks after that, I read. So you can have the fever-like symptoms first, and then it progresses to now you're having the outbreaks on your actual face. So if you are sick, stay your ass home.
I saw that New York already called
state of emergency.
State of emergency because of the monkeypox. Like,
and Georgia.
It's getting too close to Florida. Like, God.
And it always starts with New York first.
God, if you're ready for your world, just come and get us, please. Because all this shit going on, like I can tell you're ready. just announce yourself.
I'm not ready yet.
I'm not me either.
I got more things to do with my life. Like,
so young.
Mm-mm.
But one thing we have lived through, I feel like we lived through it all. 9/11, a Black president, COVID, monkeypox, George Floyd, like
what is that
all
thing?
this.
What is it called? Gas price going up, a recession. Name it all. We've been in all.
Braiders asking us to blow our hair before we get to the appointments.
Braiders asking for $800 for some plaits.
Hello.
We've been through it all.
At this point. Well, at least they say, I'm sorry, side note too, like at least they say they have like a vaccine for it. And I know I was a little hesitant about taking that COVID vaccine.
That would be the first one in line.
Sign me up for the monkeypox vaccine. I'm taking that shit because when it comes to something where you can see it, don't play with it. I'm
taking the booster and all, bitch. Any vaccine that comes for it, I'm taking it off.
Hello. What they said, I played around with COVID. I ain't fucking around with that monkeypox.
No, for real. That's you can't, cause you're gonna be out of commission for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On my face. I will never show my face until it's gone. It's gone.
But
that's
on a serious,
because it's on your face. Not even like your arm.
But it's on your private part too. So let's say
you
out here dating a dude, right? Or he dating you, one of y'all got monkeypox and you're cured, but you still have like the scarring on. How are you gonna explain that? Like, listen, I know you're gonna see something down there, but I have monkeypox and I'm still using some cocoa butter to get rid of it. No.
Mm-mm.
And Neosporin.
It's not herpes. It's like it's close to like herpes rash. It look worse than herpes rash, but that's what it's like. Every time I see it, that's what I think of. Like,
but on a serious note, guys, wash your hands. If you're sick, stay home. Just
don't touch your face. Now I'm gonna be touching my face more than ever. Now I'm really have a problem with touching my face.
Yeah.
Protect us all, please.
Yes. It's a whole different beast.
So you heard me. I am sick of this pink sauce drama. Okay. What the hell is going on with the goddamn pink sauce? Like,
you know what's so funny? Like, before I even saw the pink sauce drama, I saw that the photo shoot of it. So I was like, oh, this is cute. I didn't even know it was an actual sauce. I'm like, oh wow, this is such a cute photo shoot or whatever. And then I look, it's a whole big thing with this pink sauce with this girl doing a pink sauce.
Like before it became like a big thing, I actually saw like the advertisements and stuff for it on my TikTok. So, but then it's like I was like, okay, then a couple of weeks later, that's when I'm starting to see like everyone was talking about how their sauce was like expired. First of all, why would you sit there and buy something where like she didn't show her making it in any type of lab? It looked like she was making it outside of like in her house. Yeah. So it's like, why would you even buy something like that? That's how some of the
braiders started inside their kitchen.
That girl said, "What is
that braiders?"
She said, "What is braiders?" Sometimes that's how some of the braiders started inside their kitchen.
But they didn't try to ship it across the country.
Some of these natural products that we use is made inside the kitchen.
But they didn't try to ship it across the country.
What do you mean?
That's
shipping it
without preservatives. Okay.
Deborah said, "What is FDA? What is FDA approved? I'm just feeding y'all."
She said this is food. What she said, this is food, not
exactly.
Not medicine.
Not medicine. That's the part that got me when she said this is food. I'm not even gonna laugh because, like, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. But that was just kind of shocking that you're providing a sauce and you didn't even do your own research to make sure it's good for people. Like, you know, the steps that you have to go through to make sure it's good for people. That was
and also the fact that she on that one of the ingredients was milk. Why would people even buy something where it's being traveled across the country and it's milk and there's no, like, I don't know. I'm kind of blaming the consumer on this one because literally when I saw her first start advertising it, the first thing I said was, who the hell will buy something like this? Like, this, like, just seems so, like, just nasty.
It's
so
gonna pet the business.
It really was,
and it was a really good idea. And that's it's you know, the ingredients, and you know, she had people taste testing it, and it was like, oh yeah, this is good. But that's how, unfortunately, the internet works too, which can be a downfall. Like, here's this Black woman, she grew an audience overnight. She was probably able to get really good revenue just for it to go down that quickly. So sometimes you just have to stop and be like, okay, I got this. What do I do with it the correct way?
I agree.
Shout out to her, because I'm telling you, the photo shoot was so, I'm like, this is so, I didn't even know it was a whole sauce. But I'm like, this is so, her marketing and promoting skills is A1, because it basically happened overnight. It's not something that she's been doing for years. If I'm correct or whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to whatever she's doing. Like, girl, just get an FDA approved if you're trying to.
Yeah, and just take your time. But I hope Lizzie doesn't mind me saying this, but you made a good point in our group chat where Black women owners that were really successful were in the comments trying to use her as publicity versus trying to, you know, uplift her and be like, hey, mama, this is how you do it.
And once again, all jokes aside, we could sit there and laugh about how she did it, but you do have to still give her credit that she opened up a whole new window off of just TikTok too. And her marketing was A1 genius. And I didn't like anybody coming for a Black woman's business. And you could tell that she just fell into success. And she didn't know how to properly do it once she fell into it. And yeah, it was just, she slipped up, and I think allow her to do it properly. And I think a lot of women in our Black community, instead of them remaking her recipes and trying to be funny about it, should have reached out and try to mentor her.
But do you think like social media have an effect on like certain things like that? Like a lot of things that we purchase, that we use on our skin, our body, the clothes, it just comes from a vendor and a person just start reselling it. Like, it's a lot of business, or let me not say a lot, but majority of the business that we tend to support, there's no real research on it. Like, especially like the skincare, let me use that or whatever. Mm-hmm. A lot of times there's no real research, and we're using it on our face without even know some of the ingredients they may have used, or like how clean that person is or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's just like a lot of the times when business are open, when it comes like ever since like social media started, we see someone doing it, like, okay, well, we can do it, and don't even tend to do the real research behind it. So do you think social media kind of affected some people's business, if not even really trying to take the right steps to make sure it's a legitimate business, or, you know, it's not going to hurt the consumer in any kind of way?
Yeah, I think like you guys said, it's like it happened for her overnight. So here is this person that just made a sauce on her Instagram. People asked her, how did you make the sauce? It started to grow, but she had no business etiquette. Like, she can know how to make a sauce, but now that you have this following, you have to make the proper steps to be able to now grow it into a business, because just because you had it overnight, now all of that success is gone. People are talking about you, you're going viral for the wrong reasons now, versus, dang, did y'all see that sauce? That looked good. She put honey, she put all this in it. But I was also going to say, I think people now thrive for more organic stuff. I know, have you guys heard of the company Honey Pot, sorry, where they provide like,
you dressed up.
Girl,
I'm talking about the honey pots.
I'm like, damn, there's a honey box out here too. Honey pot, where they give you organic like pads and feminine stuff for, you know, down there or whatever. But now that they changed their ingredients, they're getting backlash on that. So it's like, people pay attention. So you can get, the internet could be a really good thing, or it can be a really bad thing.
Honestly, it's whatever is trending, because when everyone was on the bandwagon for the sauce, including Prima Donna or whatever, you know, all praise to her. But as soon as one person went viral and said something negative about the sauce, now everybody's going on that bandwagon, including Prima Donna. I'm just saying.
One thing Prima Donna gonna do, she's gonna give a promo code.
Because I saw and that's what I didn't like, right? You know, shout out to her, because she's she's a good businesswoman and everything, right? And she do support Black women and everything. But I saw when she was promoting the sauce, and then when the video went up, I saw when she was like, F and FDA stand for food. I don't know, for some reason I just didn't like that.
It was shade.
It was definitely shade.
It was shade.
Yeah.
Like, he was throwing shade. It's like, that was a conversation you could have pulled her to the side, like, hey, look, you know, you're in the business industry, you're in the same business industry or whatever. This is what you have to do. Like you said, Lizzie, instead of tearing her down, you could have sent her guidance. And I really didn't like that.
Yeah.
And that's how you really get your blessings.
That's how you really get your blessings. So while we're on the conversation of, you know, women starting their business, I know feminist has been around for years, decades or whatever, but let's get into that. You know, when you hear the word feminist, Lizzie, do you find that as, I think now is getting like a bad reputation of being a feminist?
Honestly, I guess I definitely don't have a negative connotation to, like, I definitely wouldn't have a negative thing. Bless you. That COVID be real. I'm just let me stop. All jokes aside.
It's my allergies. Y'all know I got bad allergies. For real, I do.
But honestly, I feel like I'm not against feminists, but I would not personally categorize myself as a feminist. Yes, of course, I believe that we have areas as women we should kind of, like, you know, work towards, like, equal pay and stuff. We're definitely not treated the same as men. So I definitely agree with that statement. But I still wouldn't consider myself a feminist, just because, I don't know, I feel like the feminist movement was more of a this might piss people off, but more of like a white people movement. And I think as Black women, we took it up. We also, like, kind of took it upon ourselves too. So it's kind of like, yeah, I think that's how I look at it. It wasn't really a Black people problem. We kind of included ourselves in it. And I think that's why I'm not fully a feminist.
So why don't you think it's a Black woman's problem?
Just like, I think the whole idea of being a feminist, like, the movement, being a feminist, it started with literally, you know, white women. It wasn't something that started with Black women. I feel like, you know, going to a Black school, they teach you kind of like that, you know, when the feminist movement started, we wasn't being mistreated. It was more of like the white women being mistreated by their men and etc. And, you know, white women realized, okay, you can do more if you join together. And that's when, you know, they of course wanted to get more, you know, different women involved into it, and recruiting Black women and women from different cultures. And then I feel like that kind of also took that kind of, I don't want to get too political into this, but I feel like with that, it kind of took away like the Black family, and it became more of like, hey, let's focus on women empowering rights. And that kind of messed us up as Black people. So that's kind of how I look at it. I guess that's why I say I'm not truly a feminist.
So for me, I never really thought about feminists. Like, am I a feminist? Do I support the feminist movement? Because my thought process of a feminist is a guy with female tendencies. So
that's feminist.
So it's just like, when you don't know, you just don't know.
You don't know.
I honestly just didn't know that this was a feminist. So it's just like, when people are like, oh, you're a feminist, I'd be in my head like, why they asking me that? That's for guys. I never really took the time to do my research on the whole feminist movement. So I can't even say if I'm a feminist or not. But just going back to Lizzie really quick, why do you believe like a Black woman wouldn't want to fight for those equal rights? Like, why do you think, I just don't understand why would you feel like that's not our fight, if that's what a feminist is, as far as men and women having equal rights?
Well, I guess let me better explain it like this too. I feel like, of course, once again, there's stuff that we can work towards, and we should be getting equal pay, and I'm all for all that, and I'm not saying that I'm against that. I guess what I was just trying to say is that the history behind it was that we never had an issue with being mistreated by our partners. The Black men weren't the ones disrespecting us, but we still took on the fight because the white women at that, and this is what I'm saying, when the feminist movement first started, before women even started working or etc., like, it was mostly the country white woman being mistreated. The Black women, we were kind of quote unquote happy with our family, and the Black family was intact at that moment of time. It was when the feminist movement came, and then they were like, okay, well, white women were struggling with this problem. They're getting beat and abused by their men, and they're not being treated properly. And we just took it on. And I just feel like, and because we took on that fight, that ended up messing up the quote unquote Black family for us. That's why I kind of have the issue with the term feminist. And that even also goes into the whole, that's why some people don't like Planned Parenthood and this and that, because of course, now I support Planned Parenthood, but if you actually do look at the research of Planned Parenthood, the research behind it is not, like, the history behind it is not a good history. It's connected to the KKK and etc., and really trying to bring down the Black population. So I'm just saying, because of the history behind some of those things, it's hard for me now to sit there and get behind the cause. So and definitely with us, we're Black and we're women. So we're down 2 notches here. So for me, I'm going to always go with being pro-Black before I'm pro-woman. And I think that's why I always say, like, I don't quote unquote get with the whole feminist movement. I completely understand it, but I wouldn't personally call myself a feminist.
Well, the podcast boys today, they don't like feminists. Like, they don't like women, period. The podcast boys, not all of them, because I don't want to generalize, but a lot of the podcast boys, they don't like women. They don't like us.
They female tendency, because it's always the guys complaining.
They want you to work, but they don't want you to work. They want you to make money, but you can't make too much money. Like, they want you to the podcast boys. That's what we don't call them.
It's not like a guy with female tendencies to me. So how y'all explain or whatever. But I get what you're saying, in a sense, like, but so I guess, like, with the Black home, like, Black woman was okay just being a housewife, what you're trying to say.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we didn't have those problems within. Different cultures have different issues within their homes.
Okay.
Being for the most part, being mistreated, being abused, being this and that. The Black men wasn't doing that to their wives or whatnot. That wasn't something that we typically had, issues with. It was something more that the white woman typically had issues with. And I'm sure if you do more research, it's probably related to, like, slavery. We were just getting out of slavery. They didn't have time to be sitting there worried about this. We trying to, build wealth and whatnot. So
I'm gonna do my research after this podcast.
Yeah, but it's like a whole, like, it just, I guess, like I said, once again, my issue behind it is that sometimes you do have to look at the history on how things started. And you know, compare it to now. But of course, now the feminine movement is something that's completely different compared to how it was when it first started.
So. I agree. Well, let me not say I agree. I understand what you're saying.
I'm riding on myself with this one.
I just don't want, you know, girl, the internet is crazy. Let's get into our listener letter. This is where you guys ask us advice on love, relationship, friendship, anything. You can send us an email at UHeardMeDA.
That's important.
FirstTime@gmail.com. Again, that's UHeardMeDaFirstTime@gmail.com. Now let's get into it.
Okay, so he said, I got one for y'all. My brother just got in trouble with his wife. They hadn't been having sex in some time, so he felt himself getting a little distant. Obviously, she felt it too because she got a little suspicious and went through his phone. She found pictures of a naked woman in his phone. She looked a little closer and saw that this woman was naked in their bedroom.
Ooh.
The pictures were all from the back, so she looked a little closer and realized the pictures were of her. My brother decided to be a creeper and secretly take pictures of his naked wife to pleasure himself while she was going through whatever stress she was going through, to not be giving him any. Her anger went from he's cheating on me to he's a weirdo because she's not the send news type of girl. She's still pissed. All of our male friends think that she shouldn't be mad. What do y'all think? That is a good question. That is a good question.
Yeah, but that's not a hard one for me. Like,
not for me either.
Anything that you do should be in consent. The person should know that you're doing that. If you're filming somebody, if you're taking a picture of somebody, I had somebody try to take a picture of me or maybe a video, and I seen that level. Like, what are you doing? Like, somebody should definitely know if they're being filmed or you're taking pictures of them. And the fact that you have to do it secretly, that is weirdo vibe. She should definitely have a conversation with him, and she needs an explanation why he did that.
It's honestly, I'm comparing it to like somebody being like, you can't rape your wife. You can still rape your wife, and you can still like, I don't. That's not rape, but like, that was some weirdo shit. Like, that's still like, no, that's inappropriate. Just because it's your wife does not mean you can't do something that you're not supposed to be doing.
You don't own her body. She still needs to know, okay, this is what's happening. Do you mind if I have these pictures? Do you mind if I take? And if you guys have that agreement, it is what it is. Don't take no pictures and videos of me if I don't know.
Without my consent.
I think because the nature of the relationship, it is considered weirdo vibes. Because she's not the send news type of girl, like he said. She's definitely dealing with something right now, something personally or whatever. So in his mind, that's my wife, you know, but like you say, you don't have no ownership over her and you should get consent. But that's because that's the nature of the relationship. He should know his wife, right?
Yeah.
But then you have relationships like, honestly, if my boyfriend sent me a picture of me sleeping, I would take it as, oh, that's so nice. Or if he sent me a picture of like, you know, me getting dressed or whatever, I'm taking it as my man checking me out. But that's the nature of our relationship.
But he's not doing it secretly.
He's then sending it to you. You then now know that this picture was taken, and then you could then tell him to either delete it or keep it or whatnot. And so I think that completely stops it from being weird. But like, but if you're at my most vulnerable moment,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree, because the nature of their relationship and because of what she's dealing with. If I would have saw that in my state of mind, how she is, I would feel some kind of way, like, well, why are you doing this or whatever. But if a personal relationship is different, they won't see it as how we're probably seeing it. So it's like, it's based on like her state. It's at the end of the day, it's based on her state of mind and the nature of their relationship. Versus, instead of him like being this horny person, you need to figure out what's going on with your wife instead of taking these pictures of her to pleasure yourself.
But even if she wasn't in that state of mind, let's say if she was not dealing with whatever she's dealing with, and they were being intimate, and he still took his phone out and took a picture or a video and she wasn't aware of it, to me, I think that's still weird.
Yeah.
I feel like
if you taking those, if she didn't know she was being recorded and they had a good relationship or whatnot, and then once again he sent her those pictures later on, or then told her later on, oh hey, look what I got, then that's a little, that leaves a gray area there. But it's like the no consent is
I feel like the nature of the everybody relationship is different. Some people would take it as my man checking me out, and some people would take it as that is weird as fuck. I feel like, yeah, but in her situation, me personally, I would have felt some kind of way because my state of mind, you know, and what I'm probably going through or whatever. But it's been times where, you know, but I guess it's different because he sent me the pictures and I will see it.
Yeah, because
your situation is completely different.
He know it's okay because I already be like, oh, thank you, babe, or something like that.
Yeah, because I have taken a picture of somebody sleeping or somebody snoring, and I have later showed them like, look what you did last night or whatever. But I, you know, he didn't make it seem like it was weird or anything. You were sleeping. I took a picture. I showed it to you, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different if I took a video of you sleeping in my bed and me recording it just so me to show it around. I don't know, but I know it's two different things.
Women are weird too. Women when they sleep with these celebrities.
Exactly.
And that's very weird.
Absolutely, too. That's very weird too.
But I think the scenario that both of you ladies are talking about, I think that's completely different than the scenario that the listener is talking about. I think, yeah. And like I said, I guess it does determine on the positivity of the relationship.
I feel like that have a lot to do with it. I feel like the nature of someone's relationship have a lot to do with what is considered okay within their relationship. I feel like.
I also think consent is important.
Yeah, I think if it would be different if he got the okay, you know, once in a while, whatever, and he knew this was okay with her. Like, okay, I know this turns my husband on when we're having sex. She knows in the back of her mind, he may be taking videos and pictures behind me right now, and she's okay with that. The fact that she doesn't send you nudes, she doesn't send you pictures or videos, and she wasn't aware this was being done behind her back, that becomes a huge issue.
Right, and that's why it still stem on, that's not the nature of their relationship. That's not how their relationship operates. So that is why she was very taken back. But if that was the nature of their relationship or whatever, and that's something that they would do on occasion or whatever, then it wouldn't be considered weirdo vibes, or, you know, like the whole term of needing consent. Like, of course, you know, in situations I do believe I should consent, I should let you know it's okay. But at the end of the day, it still stems off, that's not how their relationship operates. So that's something that you should have not done at the end of the day, period.
And sometimes consent can just mean a one-time thing. Like, you get consent one time, and as long as I know it's gonna happen in the future, and then I'm okay with it. Is have a conversation with your husband, but that would be like, I would be like, how do I move now that I know this has happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you have your needs, but that has to be a discussion. That it just has to be a conversation. Well, if you need our advice, you can send us an email at UHeardMeDA.
That's important.
FirstTime@gmail.com. Again, that's UHeardMeDaFirstTime@gmail.com. You can send us a DM on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and TikTok. Until next time, this has been another episode of You Heard Me the First Time podcast.
My name is Minnie.
I'm Nikki Nicole.
And Lizzie.
Ow.